Alright, everyone, let's jump back into this week's episode. Today, we're going to talk about the main island in Greece, which is also one of the most popular tourist destinations in the world. It's got a rich history that dates back to ancient times, so we'll be covering some pretty iconic moments. But before we dive in, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe if you haven't already. And hey, if you want to support us, feel free to check out the membership options down below. They give you perks like access to our server, monthly podcast, and your name here with the other awesome folks. So let's get started. Let's start with the Mycenaean Greeks who settled here around 1600 BC. They built their palaces and citadels here and spread their influence across the Aegean. Next up, the Dorian invasion. We're talking about 1100 BC when this group showed up and brought their distinct language and alphabet to the mix. Speaking of writing, the Phoenicians gave us the alphabet around 1000 BC, and guess what? It's still going strong today. The alphabet, that is, not the Phoenicians, they kinda disappeared. But anyway, around 800 BC, the first historical period in Greece began. Athens and Sparta were duking it out for power, along with these smaller city-states like Corinth, Thebes, and Milos. But here's where things get spicy. The Persian Wars kicked off in the mid-400s BC when the mighty Persian Empire threatened to take over everything. The Greeks banded together, led by Athens, and well, you probably know the story. Marathon, Thermopylae, Salamis, Plataea, the Persians packed their bags and headed home. That's right, the Greeks won. Who knew, right? After the Persians packed their things, Athens took the lead with its empire, while Sparta was busy keeping its own citizens in line. Both of them had their pros and cons, but they both ruled the roost until Macedonia came along in the mid-300s BC. King Philip V, a Macedonian ruler, wanted to conquer Greece. And you know what happened. He did it. After his assassination in 336 BC, his son Alexander the Great took over and expanded the empire even further. But he wasn't done. Alexander went all the way to India. And when he died, his empire broke up into different kingdoms, one of which was here in Epirus. But you might be wondering, wait, why am I hearing about this now? Well, because of him, this whole region became part of the Hellenistic period, mixing Greek and Eastern cultures. Now, after Alexander, we had the Ptolemaic dynasty ruling Egypt and Cleopatra. You know, the last active ruler of the Ptolemaic kingdom. She played a significant role in the affairs of the late Hellenistic world, had a thing with Julius Caesar, then Mark Antony. You know, they met in ancient Egypt. Anyway, let us fast forward a bit to 146 BC when Rome invaded Greece and put an end to the independent city-states. Ancient Greece, as we know, it was over. But hold up, here's a twist. The Romans weren't all bad news. They left us with some incredible buildings like the Temple of Olympian Zeus. And get this, the Tower of Wines, which also served as a clock tower. Talk about multitasking. Now, fast forward a couple of centuries to 330 AD when Emperor Constantine made it the new capital of the Roman Empire. And yeah, that was quite the upgrade, but let's be real, nothing lasts forever. In 1453, the Ottomans attacked and, well, Constantinople fell. And to add insult to injury, they renamed the city Istanbul. Fast forward to 1821 when Greece threw off the Ottoman yoke and declared independence. And you guessed it, it was a big deal. The people here have a long history of being smart cookies. I mean, remember those ancient philosophers like Socrates, Plato, and Aristotle? They were hanging out here in Athens and spreading knowledge like wildfire. They were all about asking questions, questioning everything. And let's not forget Pericles, the brilliant statesman who made Athens the powerhouse it was. In terms of economy, Greece nowadays is all about tourism. It's the king of the game, bringing in around $18 billion every year. Hotels, restaurants, archaeological sites, they're all part of the action. In fact, tourism makes up around 20% of Greece's GDP. Now, let's switch gears a bit and talk about those ancient treasures. Greece is sitting on gold mines, literally. It's got the biggest deposits of bauxite in the whole world. And when it comes to lignite, it's ranked number 7. But here's the kicker, they haven't really tapped into this potential. Greece has been a member of the Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development since 1961. And in 2001, it joined the Eurozone, ditching its own currency, the drachma. And then came the global financial crisis in 2008. Things got rough for Greece. In 2010, it needed a bailout. The EU and IMF stepped in with 240 billion euros to save the day. There were tough decisions, budget cuts, pension changes. But in 2018, Greece was officially out of the water, or should I say out of the bailout. Now let's talk about politics. Greece is a presidential republic with Katerina Sakellaropoulou as the president since 2020. The Kyriakos Mitsotakis has been the prime minister since 2019, leading the New Democracy Party. But who actually votes? Well, that's up to the citizens who are 18 years and older. They vote in the Hellenic Parliament every 4 years. And when it comes to parties, you've got a mix. There's the conservative New Democracy, the socialist PASOK, the Communist Party, and a bunch of smaller ones. As for religion, 97% of the population identifies as Greek Orthodox Christian. Islam is the second largest at 1.4%. Atheism and other faiths make up the rest. So if you ever visit, you'll notice tons of churches like the iconic Hagia Sophia, which is now a mosque. When it comes to art and literature, Greece is a powerhouse. Think ancient sculptures, pottery, and plays. And let's not forget the classics like Homer's Iliad and Odyssey. Those poems are like the OG Greek masterpieces. But Greece isn't just about the ancient stuff. Modern writers like Nikos Kazantzakis, known for Zorba the Greek, and Yanis Ritsos, famous for his poems, have put Greece on the map too. In terms of music, Greece has its own traditional tunes like the Sirtaki made famous in the movies Zorba the Greek. But it's also got a vibrant modern music scene with Ennio Morricone, Nana Mouskouri, and Harry Manias representing Greece on the global stage. And here's something interesting. The Olympic Games wouldn't be where it is today without Greece. It was here in ancient Greece that the first Olympic Games were held in 776 BC in honor of Zeus. The spirit of those games lives on in modern Greece, hosting the first modern Olympics in 1896 in Athens. So if you're planning a trip to Greece, here's what you need to know. Make sure to pack sunscreen because the sun can be intense. Also bring cash, especially if you're heading to islands or rural areas. Oh, and learn a few basic Greek phrases. It'll go a long way. And don't forget to try the local cuisine. Greek food is all about fresh ingredients and olive oil. And let's not forget the wine. Greece is one of the oldest wine-producing regions in the world. But let's switch gears a bit and talk about those numbers. How many people call Greece home? Well, as of 2023, it's got a population of around 10.4 million. When it comes to size, Greece ranks 107th in the world. Its land area covers about 131,000 square kilometers, which is around 50,000 square miles. And if you're wondering about the weather, well, it varies depending on where you are. But generally, summers are hot and dry while winters are.